Good morning, everyone. My name's Kelley Borg, and I'm an education support teacher here at CQU. And today I just wanted to share with you our journey on Indigenising the VET curriculum, on the vocational education and training curriculum, which aligns with CQUniversity's Great Guide to Indigenisation of the Curriculum. This is one approach that we've taken to not only embed First Nation people's perspectives into our units, but also supporting our students in developing their cultural competence. Okay. Just going to move everyone's faces out of the room. There we go. So the journey of Indigenising our VET curriculum began back in 2018, where we reviewed and rewrote the diversity units in collaboration with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elders and respected community members. We invited and welcomed elders and community members to participate in the validation of our diversity units against the training package requirements. And even though they met the criteria of the VET training package, through our consultation, it was identified that the units didn't necessarily cover all of the important aspects of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures and history. During the validation, we received valuable feedback, such as specific events in Australia's history and the impacts that has and continues to have on each of these cultures today. Some of the impacts that were mentioned during this process were the loss of identity for both cultures, the loss of sea rights for Torres Strait Islander people, and they also shared how these events had personally impacted them, their loss of family connection and their culture. There was particular appreciation for the set out of our assessments in that we identified Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as individual cultures, which allows students to individually research and learn about each of the cultures separately. They also provided some authentic resources, which they shared and allowed us to use. So, you know, we embedded correct terminology into our assessments. We got correct protocols to follow when communicating and negotiating. Also provided some great communication techniques and consultation strategies and an overview of Australia's history. All of these resources that we received, we've actually embedded them within our assessments and also our online Moodle platform for students to use. So in 2018, the consultation process was a starting point for us, which has led us to seek ongoing collaboration with community members to further identify professional development to drive change. Recently, our team completed the cross-cultural training, which has reinforced everything that we're currently delivering. I'm an advocate for change, and I'll continue to lead and incorporate improvements to fully Indigenise the curriculum. Following the consultation, we did an extensive review of how our assessments were set up on Moodle, to further support our students' learning. We've actually changed the way we deliver the course by clustering similar units together. This not only cuts down on the doubling up of content, but also allows students to work through the course much quicker. We've also created a flexible learning environment for students to cater for a variety of different learning styles. Some of the new developments that we've included is a week-by-week study plan, which outlines the cluster delivery and provides a detailed structure for students to follow. We've created some instructional videos for how to use the online platform and also incorporated some website links to assist with their assessments. We've got interactive PowerPoints that break down the tasks for students, and we've provided some downloadable assessment tasks because some of my students like to work paper-based before they get back on the computer. We also provide the key resources, which I mentioned in the previous slide, and also some templates and examples of the tasks. That's just to name a few of the changes. In addition to those, I also provide personalised support for my diverse students. As we all know, we all learn and study in different ways. I'm available for my students via email, Zoom, phone, and also in person. I've actually personally found the weekly online support sessions to be most valuable, and I offer these both in group form and individual as well. For example, this photograph is 2 of my students that I've been working with, and they're currently located in a remote community called Warrabinda, which is about 182 kilometres from Rockhampton. Both of these students are long-term employees of the local high school and are currently completing their traineeship and education support. Initially, they were daunted with the prospect of online learning, and I found that going out to the school and meeting them in person and stepping them through the process really assisted to break down this barrier. After discussion with each of them, we were able to identify their needs and the concerns, which made me realise that I needed to adjust my delivery and approach. So together we came up with a plan. We now have weekly check-ins via Zoom, and we work through the content together. They're both confident and involved learners, and they're embracing and learning the online Moodle platform. From these sessions, their knowledge and confidence with technology is growing and will continue to develop throughout the course, which I think is remarkable, as these learned skills can also be transferred into the classroom when they're working with their students. They're both capable and sufficient in Zoom sessions, which has cut down on the travel time and allows these sessions to be flexible around their working commitments as well. I must say, the building of partnerships such as these has been extremely beneficial on both sides, and we've all learnt from one another and built something that can only be described as deeply inspiring. As a teacher, I'm always looking to improve and develop the training and assessment that we offer, and these wonderful ladies are more than happy to assist with feedback and suggestions during their studies. We're actually currently working through the diversity cluster at the moment, and I've gained some valuable first-hand knowledge, which I've been able to integrate into the content and the assessment. These ladies are both well-respected members of community, and as such are great ambassadors for future learners, not only at the school but also in the local community as well. So some of the ways that we've indigenised the curriculum has been to not only immerse our students in Australia's history, but to also look at what we have in place now and what they can do as advocates. In our assessments, and part of this diversity cluster, students are required to review the cultural safety strategies that are currently in place within the community, and also to realise the significance and importance of these, how they're implemented, reviewed and evaluated. We also get our students to engage in a consultation process to implement cultural safety strategies. For us, in our course, this has proven to establish partnerships and has definitely broken down barriers. We'll continue to engage with various staff, students, industry specialists and community members to remain current and culturally safe with the content that we deliver. And I think this will be an ongoing process. I keep forgetting to click. So I regularly seek feedback from my students, as I'm always looking to enhance and revamp our materials. The interpersonal relationships that we have built and the feedback that we've received has been invaluable with the structure and the content that we're currently delivering. Every single student in our course is encouraged to regularly provide feedback and suggestions during their studies. And from this, we've been able to better support and adjust the delivery. Some of the improvements, for example, that we've done is changing the order of units. We've provided some more resources, weekly study outlines, further guidance, some examples of tasks, and also personalised study plans. Within these units, students are required to provide in-depth research about Australia's history and the impacts that colonisation had and continues to have today. For many, this is actually conflicted with their previous knowledge of what has occurred, but it also explains and outlines what is experienced by students in the classrooms today, which they've often remarked about. You know, they have this sort of understanding, this light bulb moment, I guess, for understanding, you know, all the information that they're learning about and immersed in, you know, that about how it relates back to the students that they're working with. So that's been really great. The diversity units have been challenging and inspiring for, I would say, majority of my students, as it challenges their preconceived notions and perceptions of each of these cultures. It's been surprising for my Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students also, but it heartens them that we're teaching their history and the struggle since colonisation. They too have found it challenging, which I support them through, but all the feedback to date has been positive, as they feel that this is important and it needs to be taught. So our goal is to build students' cultural competence, the ability to support and work with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and children. By immersing our students in the history, the current and past impacts, the communication protocols and the consultation processes, I feel we're providing our students with the knowledge and the skills to effectively work with and support diverse cultures. All of these strategies support recommendations that are contained in CQUniversity's Great Guide to Indigenisation of the Curriculum. In addition to the knowledge and the skills, we also necessitate that students complete a reflection task, which is quite a big component of that, the diversity cluster. And in this, we require students to look at their own cultural identity and reflect on how it will impact others, how they can further develop their knowledge, their skills, and their cultural competence. During this process, we've seen a positive outcome of students documenting their values, their beliefs, perspectives, and even their attitudes, and how they've changed from completing the cluster. A lot of students have provided feedback that their direction and focus has changed, and they'll actively be seeking to implement more cultural safety strategies, the teaching of Australia's history, and advocating to implement Indigenous perspectives within the school curriculum. One of the activities we get the students to do in there is to create some welcome posters to put up in their education setting, and I must say it's been a really positive outcome. You know, a lot of the schools love it, you know, the effort that they're putting in and the time and the consultation, you know, that they're leaving them up at school. It's not just a part of, you know, getting the assessment done, ticking that bit off and moving on. They're incorporating them, and which is awesome. And it also gives the students a sense of pride too. You know, it's something that they've created and, you know, in consultation with other members, you know, to put up. So that's really good. And I've also had other students that are actively seeking more training in this area as well, as they want to be able to better support Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander education.
Just 1 minute, Kelley.
Okay, no worries. I'll read a bit faster. So my current Indigenous students have provided fantastic feedback and support with this cluster, and they've been so inspired by this that they're getting their families and elders involved as well, and they're providing suggestions. Some of these things is alternative terminology to use, their actual personal historical family documents they've shared with me as well, you know, things like exemption certificates, correspondence around restricted movement and permissions. I've received some informative videos and links to share with other students, and also books that are personally written. So it can be daunting when talking about Indigenising the curriculum, but it's important to remember that we don't need to do this alone. We know that relationships take time, and I've come to appreciate that the time it takes varies from person to person. I encourage you to take the time to build the relationships and connections in community, for us it's proven invaluable within our course. Not only can our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students provide valuable feedback about the course and the content, but they also provide insight into ways that it can be enhanced as well. I must say this journey has challenged me as an educator to think of new ways to deliver and support students with varying needs while we continue to Indigenise the curriculum. Done. Thank you.